I'm not sure I even know what to say. To be honest, a good bit of it I don't remember. I don't think my memory works in quite the way it used to. It may be that this kind of work changes you, even just rote exams. It might actually change your brain. For the most part, it's now almost as if I'm trapped in the present. If I drank, for instance, some tang, it wouldn't remind me of anything. I'd just taste the tang. From what I understand, I'm supposed to explain how I arrived at this career, where I came from, so to speak, and what the service means to me. I think the truth is that I was the worst kind of nihilist, the kind who isn't even aware he's a nihilist. I was like a piece of paper on the street in the wind, thinking, now I think I'll blow this way. Now I think I'll blow that way. My essential response to everything was whatever. This was especially after high school, when I drifted for several years in and out of three different colleges, one of them two different times, and four or five different majors. One of these might have been a minor. I was pretty much of a wasteoid. Essentially, I had no motivation, which my father referred to as initiative. Also, I remember that everything at that time was very fuzzy and abstract. I took a lot of psychology and political science, literature, classes where everything was fuzzy and abstract and open to interpretation, and then those interpretations were open to still more interpretations. I used to write my class papers on the typewriter the day they were due, and usually I got some type of B with interesting in places or not too bad written underneath the grade as an instructional comment. The whole thing was just going through the motions. It didn't mean anything. Even the whole point of the classes themselves was that nothing meant anything, that everything was abstract and endlessly interpretable. Except, of course, there was no argument about the fact that you had to turn in the papers. You had to go through the motions themselves, although nobody ever explained just why, what your ultimate motivation was supposed to be. I'm 99% sure that I took just one intro accounting class during all this time and did all right in it until we hit depreciation schedules, as in the straight line method versus accelerated depreciation, and the combination of difficulty and sheer boredom of the depreciation schedules broke my initiative, especially after I'd missed a couple of the classes and fallen behind, which, with depreciation, is fatal, and I ended up dropping that class and taking it incomplete. This was at Lindenhurst College. The later intro class at DePaul had the same title, but a somewhat different emphasis. I also remember that incompletes peeved my father quite a bit more than a low grade, understandably. I know 3 separate times during this unmotivated period, I withdrew from college and tried working so called real jobs. One was that I was a security guard for a parking garage on North Michigan, or taking tickets for events at the Liberty Arena, or briefly on the production line at a cheese nabs plant working the cheese product injector, or working for a company which made and installed gymnasium floors. Then, after a while, I couldn't handle the boredom of the jobs, which were all unbelievably boring and meaningless.